Saratoga's story was so good that I couldn't just make it into a half-hour PBS travel documentary, which is pretty landmark on its own. I decided to write it into a book, and not just any book, one launching alongside the 250th commemorations of the founding of the United States. Because Saratoga's story isn't just historic, it's foundational. Traveling through Saratoga with locals as my guides, I found history everywhere, not confined to battlefields or museum cases, but surfacing through archaeological discoveries at restaurants, while pumping gas, cashing a check at the local bank, and etched into the walls of centuries-old inns. Somehow it even involved bagels and beer, two of my favorite things.
Cheers.
Cheers. Saratoga's story reaches back long before the American Revolution, as Charlie Knetzel shared with me in Congress Park.
The Native Americans that were here for at least 5,000 years came on a seasonal basis and drank the waters and found that they had curing power. The amount of trace elements and minerals that are inside the waters are phenomenal.
I followed the waters through Saratoga, the mineral springs bubbling with stories that revealed a tale much larger than a single place. Because what happened here didn't stay here. The story flowing beneath Saratoga's streets would eventually ripple across oceans into royal courts, military headquarters, and the halls of power in Europe. The victory at Saratoga convinced France to join the American cause, transformed a rebellion into a revolution, and altered the course of world history.
So the exhibit in this room really talks about why Saratoga is such an important battle during the Revolutionary War. After Saratoga, we have both the French recognizing American independence and making an alliance with the new country. We also have the Spanish declaring war against the British, triggering battles around the world. So every one of these panels talks about a battle between the British and their new enemies that took place after Saratoga and really stretching their resources.
To understand how a place could help change the world, I went directly to locals whose stories of the present and past shed light on Saratoga's story, and it's an important one. And it's one I would find wasn't just about history. It was so much about community, and how when we value our past and share our stories, we can make a place better. To say we had special access to film is accurate.
We're actually not open today.
You're
on
not?
Tuesdays, no. We haven't been open Monday or Tuesdays.
What are you doing here with your drink?
I'm filming.
Filming for...
Oh.
Locals opened their establishments to let us into the story, including at the Old Bryan Inn with John Kosick.
I do a lot of the history work here, and it's like the early history of the Native Americans, then the inn, and then this house, and now a restaurant has its own life of 44 years that people come and have celebrations and weddings and have times with their friends, and so it's still going on, the hospitality.
I understand that you also have visitors that might be of the paranormal kind.
Yeah, there are some. It came with them, I think. The building being stone, I think it absorbs some of the energies from some of the past people that have been here. And I always tell people that I give tours to, I give tours to children also, that it's the energy that you leave behind in the house. It's absorbed by the house, and sometimes it reappears at certain times. But lady in the green dress has been seen.
I was going to ask if you've had any instances yourself.
Yeah, someone saw a gentleman in a Revolutionary War outfit, but it was a red coat, so I don't know if it was someone looking for Alexander Bryan, who was in the Revolutionary War too. The lady in the green dress, surprisingly, there was a trunk on the 3rd floor in the attic that they opened up when they bought the house, and inside the trunk was a green dress. So that was kind of interesting. But a lot of things moving and things going on that are not easily explained.
Anyone who's spent time in historic places knows that many are reputed to be haunted. The Old Bryan Inn would also be the start to a theme running through my series and book. Small businesses who are keepers of history. You're on an archaeology site here.
You are. Well, I think every old house is sort of an archaeological site. There's going to be things found, pipes from the clay pipes that they used back then, to buttons off their shirts, to even coins you find sometimes. We found an 1880 Morgan silver dollar and a copper piece from Vermont from 1786, meaning that, like we said, people have been coming to drink the waters here for a long, long time, and someone lost a coin here.
So neat that you're collecting all of this. Now I want to kind of see, now you have a museum in here too.
Yeah.
Well, it's really nice that you've dug into the history here, literally.
Yes, I collected all the things, dug it up, or found it on the ground, and now I share it with local people and carry the history forward to the next generation, so no one's forgotten, hopefully.
The very unusual, the cloisonne hinges.
beautiful.
Isn't that amazing?
Wow. I've never seen hinges like that before, actually.
Yeah, it's that hand painted. They're really different. It's different and interesting. So.
Yeah, the attention to detail.
Yes, it's a labor of love, as you like to say, in a historic building is for sure, absolutely.
We had John Zanetti, who's a local carpenter, made this table specifically for these armaments.
One thing I really like to know is people's stories and how they have created small businesses and built their lives. In Saratoga, I found out that more than a few local entrepreneurs and business owners were unlikely stewards in carrying on their family business, and they were glad that they had. How does it feel for you to be here? Because you're now at the bank, and your son is here as well. Yeah. So multiple generations, and your dad as well.
Yeah,
so
my father and my grandfather.
Yeah, how does it feel to be here in Saratoga after all these years and be carrying on this family business?
Well, when I was young and in high school, and people said, oh yeah, you're going to the bank. I went, oh no way, I have no interest in banking. I'm not doing any banking. That's for somebody else. But I was one of those really lucky people I got working here, and I just loved it. And I took to it like a duck to water. I mean, sometimes I got wet, but it's just been a wonderful career for me. So I've been very fortunate in life, fortunate in finding a career that was meaningful, and fortunate in having a son that is following, I won't even say in my footsteps, because he's much better than I was.
No, we've been coming to Saratoga forever, and it really was my daughter's love for coffee, and my husband's and son's love for beer. And just doing a project like this, really coming into a building like this, a historic building, a lot of it is getting it back to its original roots. And it's just a great sense of community.
What was it like to grow up here? You grew up in this family business.
I grew up in this family business. We actually started with restaurants when I was a young girl. And then when the drinking age turned to 21, my parents decided to open up the first bed and breakfast in the town in the mid-1980s. My mother has some relatives from Ireland, and she would always go over and travel to Ireland to visit family, and she would stay in these small little B&Bs. So she fashioned the first B&B in Saratoga from her travels in Ireland. I grew up there from a teenager on, and I said to myself, never in a million years will I be coming back to the family business. And that was 25 years ago, and I'm still here.
And the Saratoga Arms wasn't the only historic hotel I'd get to visit.
Yeah, opened in 1877, one of 4 grand hotels in Saratoga Springs. The only one that still stands and still operates as a hotel. We've had past presidents come through here, aristocrats, many celebrities, and still to this day.
And if I thought the portions of bacon were generous at Morrissey's, I'd find even more generous pours at Hattie's, where I'd find that one reason the chicken may be so perfectly fried could be from the good water for which Saratoga is so well known. Are you making one for yourself too, or just me?
Just you.
Oh, okay. You're in an area called the Gut.
Well, this is the Gut, yeah. So there's a whole system of several springs that run through this area, and that's why it's called the Gut.
It's interesting to think about the springs running kind of all under us, because you think about water, and people are like, water is soothing, it has these healing powers. Maybe there's something to that you're frying this chicken up in this location where this water is just running all over you.
I mean, we do use water in our method of fried chicken, so I haven't actually tapped the spring downstairs, but it's worth exploring perhaps.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, I keep smelling the chicken, so we have to try it now.
Sure.
Let's
Absolutely,
do it.
sure, absolutely.
Okay.
Let's get into it.
Very crunchy.
Yes.
Really crunchy on the outside, but super moist and good on the inside.
Yeah, and it's light.
From hotels to banks to restaurants, one reason I wanted to write the book, Revolutionary Road Trip, is because of the people and the special places where history is not only preserved, But locals are paying it forward to the next generation because it's so important to get kids involved with history.
But you look at places like this, and they are places that foster artistry.
They are the building blocks of the whole music world. Without the small venues, you wouldn't have Taylor Swift, you wouldn't have Bob Dylan, you wouldn't have anybody, because you do not start in a stadium. You don't start at a big amphitheater. You start in the little club in your hometown, and you see if you have what it takes to capture that audience and to get through to people and to really land those songs, and you gradually learn how to do that.
And looking at what you're doing now with this space, it's interesting because you're continuing that with younger generations.
Yeah, we sure are. I mean, they're, in addition to just an always evolving roster of concerts on the weekends with new faces coming in all of the time, which always draws new audience. We have programs for people to get involved in as creators themselves, and that includes for children. So we have, for really little kids, we have Folk Club Kids, where they see their first live concerts and they come in and they just boogie around the room, and they don't have to behave themselves or anything like that. They just have a good time and kind of get music in their bones when they're little.
In writing Revolutionary Road Trip and documenting these stories for my PBS series, I found many through lines. In every area I traveled, there were stories of everyday people who ended up being involved in the Revolutionary War because it landed on their doorstep. From Quaker pacifists at Princeton battlefield who had their home turned into a makeshift hospital, to families running dairy farms, like Bill Dake at Stewart Shops, where you can pump gas and grab an ice cream cone on what was once a site where British parked artillery.
The Dake family came to the United States in the early 1700s, and then we moved to White Creek in New York, and then the Battle of Bennington came along, and it happened to be only a mile or two from the family homestead. So we became part of the Revolutionary War whether we wanted to or not.
Another through line and a reason I wanted to write the book was sharing underrepresented stories and highlighting voices who are often left out. Lauren Roberts shared an important story that was totally unique that I highlighted in the book.
Lauren, you ready to go rail biking?
I'm ready.
You're in charge of the brake.
I got it. Pedals up.
You know there's a speed limit, Lauren.
Okay, I'll try to control myself.
For your information, those rail bikes, they won't get you to the Saratoga Sword Surrender site, but luckily there's easy parking right on site.
We do have a quote from a woman. Frederica Redesel was the wife of the commander of the German forces here, and she and her 3 young daughters traveled from Canada and followed Burgoyne's army down to Stillwater, and then they were part of the retreat when they lost the second battle. And she actually had to hide in a house that still exists in Schuylerville. They were hiding in the basement. She was about 30 years old, and her children were 6 and under, all 3. And she describes in her own words the horrors of war, of hearing the cannonballs hitting the house overhead. It's believed that the Americans thought it was Burgoyne's headquarters, when in reality it was more like a British field hospital, and the women and children of the officers were taking refuge there in the basement. But she describes the sound of the cannonballs. She describes the wounded soldiers that were there. Listening to her words or reading them, it really makes the story relatable. As a mom, when you think about what she had to go through with 3 young children and worried about her husband out on the battlefield, in her diary she really talks about how worried she was for her husband's safety. I'm sure you can imagine, what would she do if he died and she was here in a foreign country with 3 young kids. So her story is really important. That's one of those underrepresented stories, but from a female perspective, and she can really be thought of as an early female war correspondent. But it's really nice when we have these stories so that she can tell it through her own words and nobody else has to tell her story for her.
One of the main things I wanted to do with this book and project was to give people a fresh look at America's founding, and that was certainly accomplished with the help of local experts in Saratoga.
How do you feel people should have a fresh look at aspects of the American Revolution?
Sure. One of our goals is to talk about things that weren't talked about before, to look at all aspects of the Revolution and what comes after, because we don't view the Revolution as something that finished in 1777 or 1783 or 1787. The United States continues to expand those rights over the next century, so the revolutionary American experiment continues.
What can we learn from looking back at the American Revolution?
I think we can see sacrifice, the value of personal sacrifice, the value of collective sacrifice. We can see people working together to create something larger than them. We can see people arguing about what the meaning of what they were building was going to be and what that was going to look like. These were people that had very, very different opinions, and they argued and they fought about them, and they came up with compromises that enabled the country to take off. And nobody got what they wanted, everything they wanted out of it. They had to give things up, but they were able to do that. They were willing to work together in order to build something.
And if I learned anything, it's that people do like history with a pint.
We try to have a little bit of everything.
I like it, I like it.
Try to stay true to our roots, you know, we're farmers first.
Farmers first, and why not end with some alcoholic apple cider?
That's right, after a long day. You know, my dad, cheers. My dad used to say that people like apples in different forms.
That's true.
Some of them in the liquid form.
Your dad was a very wise apple farmer.
He sure was.
So we have mango infused, peach infused, chocolate. Right now, pumpkin spice we just launched for the year. And then we also have elderberry, which is great for when you're feeling under the weather. And then in addition to that, we have about 17 different varieties of honey that are not infused from different parts of the US, and we import honey from Spain, Italy, Hungary, and France.
People then can come, they need a little restart in the afternoon, they can come into the tea bar and have some tea with honey and get their little afternoon boost.
It can feel really good. Yeah, get a little caffeine from the tea, a little sugar from the honey, that's, you know.
And if you come to Saratoga, be careful. The shopping is good.
Ooh, I like this. Wow. I don't think I've ever tried a hat like this on before.
So yes, you can't get this anymore.
Okay, so I'll probably need to
and
get
this
that hat.
is Giovanni does. We don't make these anymore. Color-wise, it goes with anything.
There's so many choices. I'm gonna be broke by the time I leave this place.
It's okay. We'll take you part-time. You can work it off.
Is that a bagel bag?
Yes.
Wait a minute. We have some of my favorite things in here. We have a cat hat and a bagel bag. Let me
Cats
see.
and bagels.
Can I look at that? This is a must.
It's an everything bagel.
Oh my God. Wow. For the woman who has everything, the everything bagel bag. And the cat in the hat. I don't know. This is like a store made for me.
There you go.
But of course, it was a horse who stole my heart at the end of my Saratoga trip. And that didn't upset me at all.
You're making my day.
So
tell me the story behind this is Upset.
Yes.
Okay.
So he's named after the only horse that beat Man o' War.
Okay.
Which was here in Saratoga in 1919.
Best mascot. I mean, come on.
Because when a story's this good, you have to share it. Thanks, Saratoga, for inspiring me to keep sharing your stories.
I'm paying this tour guide in apples today. Oh, you know where you're going. You're going to Impressions.